Thank you. Wow, it's a pleasure. I tell you, we have the youth, the unity, and the energy on our team, and we're going to win this election in 2018. Now, as many remember, we were here a couple years ago, and we went on. I was honored to have your endorsement, and we went on to do our best, and because of all the work that you put in, all the contributions, everything you did for our campaign, we came very close. We had 49.6% of the vote, and as Julie said, if only 21, in all the 21 counties, if just 61 people switched from Tim to Jim, we win. It was that close. But it wasn't meant to be. But I have to tell you that next morning, we were at our election party until like 3:30, 4:30 in the morning, and it was a long night, and we were disappointed. But I woke up that next morning a happy American. I woke up the next morning a happy American, not because we didn't want to win, and it wasn't important, we did. But I woke up happy because our race, as important as it was, wasn't the most important one on the ballot. The most important race was the one for President of the United States, and Donald Trump won, and we saved America. If Hillary Clinton wins that election, she stacks the Supreme Court with radicals who take away our basic liberties. They turn us into California, basically. Move us back to those Obama-type policies. I don't know how we recover from that one. And I got that going into that election, and that's why I was always proud to say I supported Donald Trump, and I encouraged everyone to, because I truly believed that we would lose the country if he didn't win the way the forefathers put it together. But we lived to fight another day, and that's why we're here today, right? We're ready to get going. And, when you think about it, all that's done, you made a great victory, even though we came up short. The great victory is that you transformed this race from safe Democrat to the best GOP pickup opportunity in the nation. And we're going to get the job done for our party. Now, look around. No hands, but no Tim Walz. Not on the ballot anymore. He's gone. Doing something else. I don't know what he's up to, but we're going to beat him at that too. God bless him in all his trials, But you helped us also in these last year and a half or so since the election become a stronger campaign, and I really appreciate it. Because of your contributions, we raised $637,000 thus far, the most of any other candidate in the race by far. We have $330,000 in the bank. We're in a good position moving forward to the general election. We also went out and worked the district. As many people said, we walked 50 parades, and you were there walking the streets with us. We went door to door. We went to all the county fairs. People like my friend Otto over there in the Rice County Fair, reading us and helping us introduce people. We really appreciate that. But we've worked very hard to try to unify this party going into this election. And so we went out and we tried to get as many prominent national, state, local people to support our campaign. And to have someone like Congressman Tom Emmer, who's a rising star in Washington, a terrific guy, support us means everything. But also having icons in Minnesota politics like Senator Rudy Boschwitz, Congressman Gil Gutnick, Congressman John Klein. That means a lot. And then our friend Jeremy Munson, and Bob Gunther, and Bob Vogel, and State Senator Julie Rosen, and State Senator Draheim, who's here, and State Senator Weber from Rock County. Having that type of support is awesome. But let's move one step further. I'm so humbled to have the support from chairs and county chairs of 18 of the 21 counties of this district. It's working together is how we're going to win this race in November. Now, of course, the biggest change is that Walz isn't on the ballot. The Democrats have lost a lot of that advantages of incumbency, name ID, things like that. Some of it swings to us. But, another part of that is I don't think the Democrats they're in LeSueur today, picking a nominee, but I don't think that they got the memo Tim Walz left for them on the way out. I just happen to have a copy of it here. And it said, "Dear comrades, don't forget to cynically take at least a few conservative positions and try to hang on to this Republican +5 seat." Best, Tim. There you go. So, and what do I mean by that? The Democrats trying to replace Walz, they're not following the Walz model when he was running for Congress. They don't want the NRA's endorsement. They want to fight the NRA. They don't want to stay away from single payer in a district with the Mayo Clinic. They're all for socialized medicine. They come out and they're openly for things like waters of the United States, late-term abortion, transgenders in the military. When you look at what these guys are running on, these resistance candidates, reminds you of what Ronald Reagan said about Walter Mondale. These Democrats are so far left, they've left America. Now, by contrast, and they've done us a favor, instead of muddying the waters like Walz, they've created a clear contrast. The Democrats running for the seat want to resist President Trump. They want to replace President Trump. They want to return us to the Obama policies and then some that were failed and rebuked, not just in southern Minnesota, but across this country. Folks, I'm on the other side. I'm running for this seat to represent you, to be a conservative reinforcement in the U.S. House, to partner with President Trump and like-minded colleagues in order to continue to make the big changes necessary to keep America safe, to make America prosperous, to protect our God-given rights, and to sustain agriculture and our rural way of life. Now, some of the policies that are most important to me that I would work on your behalf would be a peace through strength policy in the military with secure borders and protection from radical Islamists. When it comes to the economy, we have to reform the government. More tax reform to make the code simpler, fairer, and flatter. Regulatory reform. Get rid of that Obamacare with free market health care. Work for welfare, which is something that I truly believe in. Merit-based immigration, that's important. And then U.S. energy independence to keep the price of energy moving downward. When it comes to our God-given rights, the three that I think are fundamentally under attack in Washington that I would be out there serving for every day, the right to life, the right to keep and bear arms, and the right to religious freedom. And finally, when it comes to agriculture and our way of life, this is where it gets a little bit personal for me. I was born in Blue Earth, Minnesota, where I reside today. When I was a very young kid, my parents moved over to Truman. Just outside Truman, they had a farm. My father, grandfather, and great-grandfather, all southern Minnesota farmers. Those years on the Truman farm were the best in my life. I don't know how to say it. It made a profound impact on my life. And when I look around the room and I see my mother, my sister, the years that we spent on the Truman farm, those were the best. But there are people here, delegates, others who've supported us, like Rochelle Kruzmark from Truman, Trimont area, Lon Furshaw, who I went to school with in Truman, and Neil Breitbarth, who grew up fence row to fence row. 50 years we've known each other, and it's that type of a background and the experience and the things that make it personal. So yes, we have to do everything we can to sustain agriculture, to help our farmers, to make sure our rural communities are okay. I see over in Rock County where they lost 200 poultry jobs. You know, Albert Lee's losing its hospital. In Waseca County, lost 300 print shops. This is happening all across. This enormous pressure on our smaller communities. Rochester, Mankato, a lot of money flowing in there. They're doing pretty good. But I'd be somebody that would advocate for rural Minnesota and fight every day. I'd like to serve on the Ag Committee, and that would be a major priority of the next 2 years in Congress. So, well, you know, they say the third time's a charm. And sometimes, you know, when you look at this race, 3 times on the ballot, you go, well, that seems like a lot of work. But it's happened before. The House of Representatives is filled with a lot of people that have had to go 3 and sometimes even more elections in order to get it done. Our neighbor to the north here, John Klein, who represented part of this district, he had to run 3 times against Bill Luther. Congressman Peterson up in the 7th District actually ran 5 times, 4 when I was working for Stanglin, so that's where I saw the perseverance thing and realized in a big district, sometimes that's what it takes. The most famous case is Newt Gingrich, who actually ran 3 in a row. But the third time has to be the charm also for our party and for our conservative movement. This is the 3rd time in the last 100 years that the Republicans in Washington have been given all the keys to the cars, the House, the Senate, and the White House. This is the 3rd time really in our lifetime where we have an opportunity to make conservative change. We did it under Ronald Reagan, we did it under Newt Gingrich, and now we have to do it under Donald J. Trump. This is our best chance. This is our time to make sure that we go out to Washington and we support our president and we support our philosophy. Because if we make the big change necessary, we can give our country another 20 or 30 years of life, just like Reagan and the Republicans did in the 1980s. Folks, you know where I stand. I stand with you. And you stand with America. You stand with our president. You stand with Southern Minnesota. I humbly ask for your vote for endorsement today. Let's unify this party and work all the way to November. Together, let's win back this seat and restore America's greatness. Friends, let's go get them.